Role of drug substance solubility or role of API solubility in pharmaceutical formulation development is the topic for this video. In this video, we are going to learn regarding how solubility affects the drug release, drug dissolution, absorption, bioavailability, and overall therapeutic effect of the formulation. So, as a pharmaceutical professional, we should know the basics of solubility. Solubility is the ability of the drug substance or API to go into the solution or dissolve and form the solution. In this video, we are going to learn regarding the solubility studies, how drug solubility affects the formulation development. So, how the solubility is important? Because API solubility plays a very important and crucial role in the determination of absorption and bioavailability of the drug. So, whenever the formulation is taken, first it goes into the solution, that means dissolution takes place, and then through permeation it enters the blood circulation and then reaches to the site of action. Solubility of the drug is preliminary step for absorption, and absorption is the preliminary step for the drug action. Poor solubility or low solubility of an API can result in the reduced absorption, inconsistent drug levels. That's why reduced therapeutic effect and efficacy, and it is related to patient compliance and patient adherence problems. So, focus is on enhancing the solubility as it is essential for the oral formulations, and solubility is important to ensure that the drug reaches the systemic circulation in the effective manner. If the drug is insoluble and it is formulated into oral formulation, it will reach the GI and then it will not get solubilized, and that's why it will be eliminated from the body before or without absorption. This will lead to less effect. So, solubility affects the bioavailability through impact onto the absorption. Solubility in the GI fluids is required for the API to dissolve and pass through the intestinal membrane. Poor solubility is related and it affects the dissolution. If poor solubility is there, it will slow down the dissolution and it will be incomplete. It will lead to reduced absorption, reduced permeation, and in turn it will lead to low bioavailability. Bioavailability of the API is the extent and rate of absorption or permeation at which the ingredient is absorbed into the systemic circulation. So, there are two terminologies, Cmax and the AUC. Solubility affects the Cmax, that is maximum plasma concentration, and Tmax, that is time to reach Cmax. Also, the extent of absorption is related to the area under the curve in the bioavailability studies. Poor solubility. Poor solubility can result in lower therapeutic efficacy or delayed onset of action. So, if the formulation is required to be designed for immediate effect or faster action, then the API should be designed to have higher solubility and the faster dissolution rate. Dosage form designing the formulation for poorly soluble APIs. So, as solubility directly dictates type of formulation needed. For poorly soluble APIs, advanced techniques and processing technologies are used to increase the dissolution through improved solubility. So, what are the strategies to improve the solubility and enhance the dissolution? There are some well-known techniques which are used like micronization, salt formation, and amorphous dispersions. Micronization means reducing the particle size of the drug substance and then using into the formulation. Micronization increases the surface area by reducing the particle size and it will lead to faster dissolution. Salt formation is related to work onto the API. So through salt formation, the API is converted into a salt form to improve the solubility and dissolution. Amorphous dispersions is the technology which uses some polymers dispersing the API in a polymer matrix to increase the solubility, and that's why it improves the dissolution. Now see the clinical implications of poor solubility. How solubility impacts on clinical efficacy and the patient adherence. If there is less solubility, then it will lead to inconsistent drug levels, and that's why fluctuating plasma concentrations. Low soluble APIs generally require higher doses, and higher doses will lead to side effects. May require higher doses to achieve the same therapeutic effect. Patient compliance may suffer from the need of larger pills, frequent dosing, higher number of doses per unit time, per unit dose. That means if you want to take the dose of 400 mg and if the formulation contains the insoluble API, then many times the formulator divides the dose in 4 pills to improve the solubility. That's why pill burden get increased and which leads to poor patient compliance. Clinical challenges. Higher doses can lead to increased side effects and toxicity. Variability in the bioavailability leads to inconsistent therapeutic outcomes. So for having the better therapeutic outcome from the treatment, to improve the patient compliance and patient adherence to the treatment, the solubility has a great role. Formulation considerations and formulation factors that enhance API solubility. We can use excipients which are solubilizers, wetting agents. We can change the pH. We can do the particle size reduction. So excipients, use of solubilizers, surfactants and stabilizers can enhance dissolution. It is common technique used by the formulators. pH adjustment involves tailoring of the formulation's pH to optimize solubility, especially for ionizable drugs. Particle size reduction or micronization can be used to improve the solubility by increasing the surface area through micronization of the API, and also we can go for nanoparticles by nanonizing techniques. Now see the strategies to improve API solubilities. Like salt formation is there, amorphous dispersions are there, cyclodextrin complexation is there, co-solvent use, lipid-based formulations. Salt formation, it is very commonly known that salt formation improves the solubility and other physicochemical properties. Amorphous dispersions involves the use of polymers which act as a solvent and it dissolves the API. So it increases dissolution rate by preventing crystallization. Or the amorphous solid dispersions can be prepared to make the crystalline drug into amorphous form. Then cyclodextrin complexation involves encapsulation of the API into cyclodextrin to enhance solubility by creating hydrophilic complexes. Use of co-solvents, using mixtures of solvents to improve solubility of lipophilic drugs. Also, sometimes lipid-based formulations are used, using the lipid carriers to improve solubility and absorption of the lipophilic drugs. Some drugs are there which are insoluble in water, but they can be solubilized into some lipid materials, some oils. So, soft gelatin formulations, soft gelatin capsule formulations are the common lipid-based formulations to enhance the solubility. Now see the challenges in drug development. So high proportion of newly discovered candidates, new molecular entities, new chemical entities have low solubility. And so designing the formulation is very challenging. Challenges include longer development timelines, increased cost, patient non-compliance. These are the main challenges because of the less solubility. Case studies we can see here. Examples I have enlisted like ibuprofen, griseofulvin, ketoconazole, ritonavir, enzalutamide. All these are the APIs which are insoluble. So different technologies are used to improve their solubility. Ibuprofen salt is formed. Cresofulvin is formulated into amorphous dispersions. Ketoconazole is formulated by using the cyclodextrin complexation. Solid dispersion by HME technique is used for ritonavir and enzalutamide. Also, lipid-based formulations like sob-gelatin capsules are used for the enzalutamide. Now, coming to the regulatory considerations for drugs with poor solubility. So, regulatory authorities require extensive testing to demonstrate bioequivalence between the generics and reference product whenever there are the poorly soluble drugs. Generally, for poorly soluble drugs, the bioavailability and bioequivalence studies are required in fasting and fed studies to have the understanding about how the product behaves with and without food. So, food effect studies are also performed. Then, the products which are containing the low soluble APIs, the products in which the solubility enhancement is done, those products are considered to be complex in nature or the problematic drugs. Then, for narrow therapeutic index drugs, even small differences in the bioavailability can lead to clinical consequences. Bioequivalence studies often focus on the pharmacokinetic parameters like Cmax and AUC to compare solubility between the innovator drug and the test drug or the reference and the test. So, considering the solubility, sometimes the solubility variations may lead to drug with high variability and low solubility. Solubility affects the formulation design. Also, solubility affects the excipient use and the processing techniques. Future trends in solubility enhancement. So, nanotechnology, 3D printing, and targeted drug delivery are the future trends and emerging techniques for the solubility enhancement. In conclusion, API solubility is critical factor for ensuring the effective drug delivery and bioavailability. Poor solubility lead to bioavailability issues, biovariation issues, bioequivalence problems, and thus require formulation strategies such as salt formation, amorphous dispersion, use of solvents, co-solvents, use of some solubilizer excipients, and sometimes cyclodextrin complexation to improve the solubility. Regulatory adherence and innovative formulation technologies are key to overcoming the solubility challenges because many of the new molecules are designed for some treatments. These are insoluble in nature, and as a pharma professional we should always have understanding of the solubility and the ways to address those solubility challenges early in the development process so that we can make more effective and patient friendly formulations for the better therapeutic outcome. Also, whenever you are working onto the formulations which contain the low soluble API, that time you should understand the critical material attributes which affect the solubility and dissolution. Generally, the polymorphic form and the particle size has an impact onto the dissolution and solubility. So always have a good control or better control onto the drug substance critical material attributes. I hope this video will help you to understand and to revise your knowledge for the role of API solubility in pharmaceutical formulation development. Thank you for watching the video, and let's meet soon with informative and innovative type of formulation ideas through this channel. So stay tuned to this channel. Thank you.